What's up, nerds? What's up, nerds? GozMaster here with another Magic the Gathering puzzle quest. Today's quest, pre-release notes for 4.9 and Strixhaven's early review. I'm going to go through the new mechanics real quickly with the new set that's coming out for Strixhaven. It should be coming out next week, baby. And in addition to that, I'm going to go over some of the cards that I think are some of the best cards to spotlight in this. It's going to be a longer video, not going to be any gameplay. We're just going to be talking theory and new mechanics. Very excited over this new set. Preview of what I've looked at means I've immediately seeing this deck, this set, way more powerful than Kaldheim. Like, not even close. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm pretty disappointed in the overall mechanics of Kaldheim. And I'm hoping that they not corrected, but I hope they actually did better with Strixhaven, because some of these cards are pretty exciting. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about some new mechanics. We're going to talk about Invoke. Invoke is very curious as to how it works. So Invoke was designed in order to be able to adapt any double-sided card to Magic. To Magic Puzzle Quest, since many cards in Strixhaven come with two sides, and many of them don't follow the previous double-sided cards adapted to Magic Puzzle Quest. So in other words, we used to treat double-sided cards like this. We can't treat double-sided cards this way now because these new ones don't work the same exact way, so we had to come up with an entirely new way of doing it. So when a card with Invoke is moved to the player's hand, a prompt will ask that player if he or she wants to exchange it for a related card. If a card was exchanged, that card will gain the invoked Evergreen. Also, cards that weren't invoked will have an additional effect. So, hear me out. We draw a card. It asks us, you want to invoke the other card that comes with this, or do you want this one? No, I want that other one. So you're basically getting two cards. Basically, it's one card. I'm not sure. Here's the deal. I'm not sure if it's going to be you need both those cards to be able to play, like you got to go pull both of those cards to consider them one, or they're just reversals of the same card. Not sure how that's going to work. I hope that if you get one, you got both, so that when you draw one, you can invoke the other, and that's the way it works. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I'm going to guess that they're going to be two separate cards inside of PQ, and that would be interesting. I don't know if I would like it or hate it, because I like getting all the cards. For people who struggle to get all the cards, it's probably not going to be something they're enjoying. For somebody like me who likes getting all the cards, I think that's cool, because then it essentially means I can get the same card twice. I can have one card take up two slots in my deck, essentially. I'm not sure, just guessing. We'll see what happens. Bottom line is, I'm going to read this again. When a card with Invoke is moved to the player's hand, a prompt will ask if the player wants to exchange it for a related card. If a card was exchanged, that card will get the invoked Evergreen. Also, cards that weren't invoked will have an additional effect. So we'll read through the cards and you'll see what that means. The invoked Evergreen reads, when this card enters your hand from anywhere, if it was not invoked, you may invoke its related card into your hand from outside the game. If you do, exile this card. So this card goes away, you get that other card, that's what you get. The invoke keyword ability hint reads, when you exchange a card for its related card, that card gains invoked. Okay, we'll see, we'll go more into it here. Learn lesson, I don't know the rest of these. In Magic PQ, when a card triggers learn, the player will be able to choose one from up to 4 predetermined lesson cards to add to their hand. The amount available may vary according to the card's rarity. So I'm assuming common 1, uncommon 2, rare 3, mythic 4, and then masterpiece maybe 5 or more. No clue, have no idea what that looks like. I just see the emblems here, learn and lesson. I'm assuming they work the same way. No. You can learn, and then you get those lessons. I'm assuming the more you learn, the different levels of lessons you get. Not sure. Ward. Ward is the Magic PQ version of Ward that allows creatures to be protected against spells and abilities if the opponent chooses not to pay its ward cost. Let me read that again. Ward is the Magic PQ version of Ward that allows creatures to be protected against spells and abilities if the opponent chooses not to pay its ward cost. Similarly, in Magic PQ, Ward is a keyword that may grant hexproof to the creature with ward if that opponent doesn't pay its ward cost. Cost type can be life, mana, or loyalty according to the ward and according to the card. Ward reads, when an opponent makes their first match during a turn, if they have a spell with full mana in their hand, they may pay this creature's ward cost. If they don't, this creature gains hexproof until the end of this turn. So, as an opponent, you play a ward card. I can then choose to play the ward, pay the penalty for the ward, and then it keeps it from getting some special bonus, is the way I'm understanding that. We'll see. We'll go through it and see if that makes sense. Level. I don't understand this one at all the first time I read it. Level. Level is a new evergreen mechanic that allows a creature or support to increase and keep track of numeric attribute that can be used for various effects. This mechanic is analog to the experience counters, but it affects only cards instead of planeswalkers. So where experience counters affects everybody, this is saying it only affects cards instead of planeswalkers. In Strixhaven, only 2 cards make use of level, the Fractal Token and the Masterpiece of Slurk All Ingesting. However, cards from upcoming sets will make use of this ability. So we're getting 2 right now. Next sets we'll have more. We'll see. Magecraft is probably one of the most interesting ones. In Magic PQ, Magecraft is a named trigger that activates special effects when the player casts or copies a spell. It can only be triggered up to the number of times displayed along with Magecraft Evergreen icon per turn. Magecraft has no cost and may trigger multiple kinds of effects. Okay, so when Magecraft is triggered, I got to read that again. In Magic's PQ Magecraft, Magecraft is a named trigger that activates special effects when the player casts or copies a spell. It can only be triggered up to a number of times displayed along in the Magecraft. So I cast a spell, I get to do that thing twice in a turn, then that triggers its ability? I don't know. We'll have to see how that works. That's interesting. Enhance. Enhance is an adaptation of cards with variable mana cost that comes divided and has different effects related to its divided cost. Come on, Magic. We're getting too crazy here. Widely used in Magic PQ, Enhance is a mechanic similar to activated gems. When cards with the ability enter the player's hand, a specific amount of gems receive the enhanced effect. Okay. Each time one of these enhanced gems is destroyed, the first card in a player's hand that can be enhanced has its value increased by 1. So, not its mana cost, just it's got a token on it that says, okay, this card is 1. Cards with Enhance have 2 different icon evergreens. Enhance, which tells how many special gems this card creates and how many enhancements it can have, and Enhanced, past tense, which displays its current number of enhancements. Okay. The Enhanced keyword reads, when this card enters your hand from anywhere, enhance up to X gems. X is this card's enhanced value. The Enchanted Evergreen reads, this card gets enchanted whenever you match an enhanced gem. This effect can be triggered up to X times. X is this card's enhanced value. Okay. So what that means is, essentially, I get it in my hand, I get the gems on the board, I pop those gems, they go directly to this card. What if I have multiple of that card? Man, it's got to keep track of those? Or are they all unified, they all count towards the same different kind of cards? Or do they gain double duty? If I pop 1, do they count towards 2? Or are they different colored? Or you're doing a lot here. This is interesting. There's a lot of new planeswalkers. I'm not going to go into the planeswalkers today in this video. I'll cover that on another one. I'll let Nalthazar do that. Nalthazar does a good job with the planeswalkers. I just really wanted to cover these notes because we want to go look at the cards, and the cards are good or bad, or chase worthy based on how these effects work. Now that we understand how those work, let's go take a look at the cards. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how excited I am about these. So I've already looked at these cards earlier today when I was at the office. I've already liked and made some comments on some of these, so I'm just going to thumb through. I'm not doing mythics or masterpieces only like I've done before. I'm going to go through all of them that I think are chase worthy for cards. So that said, let's just jump right into them. Let's see. All right, so first and foremost, I will cover all of the mythics though. So Alhara Solemn Ritualist. I hope I'm pronouncing that Alharu. This is a masterpiece. And so Creature Human Monk, Invoke Tormad the Desecrator. So I'd like to be able to see what Tormad is. So when I draw this card, essentially the way that works is I can go pull that other card into my hand. When a non-token buffed creature you control dies, create 2 Archaeological Spirit tokens. Those creatures gain flying. Now if I get this card and I don't invoke it, if not invoked, when a card leaves your graveyard, your creatures get +2/+2. So that should work if I'm understanding this correctly, in addition to what the invoke is of this. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that's one of them. I don't know. That's not a chase card to me. I don't think that's very chase worthy. We'll see, though. The Archaeological Spirit tokens, there's a lot of support for tokens on this bad boy. We'll see how that works. Let's see. Next one. Artem Intrepid Archaeologist, 4/4, 14 mana. It is a invoke legendary. So this is an invoked card. I'm not sure how that works because they don't say it's double-sided. Anyways, we'll see. So it's a Core Scout. Invoke His invoked card is Crark the Thumbless. When you activate a loyalty ability, pick one of the first 3 different aura and or equipment cards from your library. Fetch that card. It gains full mana, then destroy the others. Chase. This is a chase card. Just for that alone. Now that I understand how Invoke works, this is a chase card. So for 14 mana in white, when you activate a loyalty ability, like let's say somebody spams first, you pick one of the first 3 different aura or equipment cards, i.e. Embercleave, or you know what I really like? Grappling Hook. Oh man, I love Grappling. I think that's a fun card. That's a great cheap, on the cheap, poor person's or poor pauper version of Embercleave. It's awesome. I love it. But then you also have auras too, like Chromanicore, which is beast. I mean, this guy with Chromanicore is stupid powerful. So we'll see. And that's whenever you activate one of your abilities. So spam your first. Every single time you could be getting this. If not invoked, when this creature attacks, the first card in your hand... when this creature attacks, if the first card in your graveyard is an aura, copy it into your hand with half of its mana, and that card is equipped. If that card's an equipment card, move it to play under your control. So if you have an equipment in your graveyard, you immediately just pull it on the board if you don't invoke this card. So this is the only card you have in your hand or in your deck. And I'm assuming they got to be 2 different cards. What do you think? Chat, let me know in the chat below. I got to assume they're 2 different cards. They got to work that way. That's the only way I can see these working. Chase card. I think that's a fun chase card. Let's see, nothing there. Okay, this is by far just a wow, insane card. So this is our Arixmathis Slumbering Isle. 12 mana for blue-green, 4 shield, unbreakable, support card, land, Kraken. It's a land, people. When this support loses shield for the first time each turn, reinforce it. What? So you can't lose the shield, it can just get bigger. As long as this support is reinforced 4 or more times, your first creature gets +12/+12 and gains defender. Doggy, that's big. Oh, but at the beginning of your turn, convert 4 gems to blue and 4 gems to green. So it converts, it's a creature, it powers you up. That's a heck of a chase card. That's a great land. It's a land like we haven't seen in quite some time. It's a masterpiece, I know, but it's a chase-worthy land. I dig it. All right, let's keep going here. Awaken the Blood Avatar is a mythic, so let's cover that. 22 mana. It is something that can be invoked. Extus Auric Overlord is the one that can invoke it. When a card comes into play with a creature type is destroyed or loses a reinforcement, this card is in your hand, it gains 4 mana. This makes no sense. This is a typo, so I'm going to try to interpolate for what Octagon's trying to say here. When a card comes into play with a creature type is destroyed or loses a reinforcement. So I'm assuming what they mean is when this creature comes into play or a creature is destroyed or loses a reinforcement, if this card is in your hand, no. When a card that comes into play, bro, I don't know. I have no idea, and I've made several comments on these as we've gone along. I don't know what that means. I think what they mean is when something that's similar to this comes into play, or if it is destroyed, or a creature similar is destroyed, or loses a reinforcement, then this card gains 4 mana in your hand, which at 22 mana, you got to lose quite a bit for that to mean much. Destroy the last opposing creature. That creature's then created blood avatar token. Who knows what that is? I got to assume it's like a 4/4 or a 6/6, up between a 4/4 up to a 6/6. Who knows? If not invoked, your opponent, in addition to all of this stuff, loses 9 life. Obviously, this is a typo. This is not clear. I'll get back to you on this one, whether or not it's a chase card. Interesting. It is a spell card, though. What's interesting is it's not a creature. It's a spell. Kind of cool because it's separate. And it's red, so we can cast it with, you guessed it, Mox Ruby, which is ever standard. Love it. Let's see. So this is Baleful Mastery, 5 mana, spell card. It's a mythic. It's got Enhance. If this card was enhanced 2 or less times, your opponent draws a card. That card gains half of its mana. Okay. Exile target opposing creature. If you can't exile an opposing Vanguard support, then your opponent loses X life. X is that card's base mana cost. That's powerful. Exile target opposing creature. If you can't, exile an opposing Vanguard support. One of the two. Then your opponent loses X life. X is that card's base mana cost. So take their biggest critter that's not a token, exile it. You got to be able to target it, right? So that's good. And if you, in exchange for that, even for 5 freaking mana, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And if I'm understanding this correctly, there's going to be 6 enhanced gems that hit the board. Right, so that's how many gems hit the board, and then this side over here shows how many enhanced gems you've popped getting this. So I wonder if I mute this and I try taking a crack at popping them a couple of turns and then unmute it and let it cast, will that be cumulative? I'm assuming it will be. We will see. This is a chase card. This is going to be fun. All right, Bellados Witherbloom, 21 mana, flying legendary creature, 7/7, Elder Dragon, black-green. At the beginning of each player's turn, create a pest token. So they're little, I think they're going to be little 1/1 tokens. They got to be, maybe even 0/1s, who knows. At the end of your turn, you may pay 15 life. If you do, convert 15 gems to black or green. Do I get to choose? Or are you going to guess? I'm going to assume right now, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Because if you let me choose, this is a broken card. I mean, absolutely broken. If I don't get to choose, it's still very powerful. It would work really well with Nissa of Shadowed Boughs and any of the other black-green creatures. Even any green creatures really should work fairly well with it, like Garruk, mono-green Garruk. Interesting card. I like it. I think right now I'm going to predict it's chase-worthy, but we'll see. It'll be chase-worthy for sure if we get to choose which color. If we don't get to choose which color, then it's still pretty good. It's a neat card. Bell Borka Spectral, 17 mana. Dude, we're still in the Bs, and all of these cards are amazing so far. This is a lot of text. I don't know about this one. Bell Borka Spectral Sergeant, 17 mana. It's a legendary 0/7 Spirit Soldier, red-white. When a card leaves your graveyard, create Archaeological Spirit token. The effect can trigger up to 4 times per turn. When a card is exiled from anywhere, this creature's power becomes equal to that card's cost until end of turn. At the beginning of your turn, pick one of the first 3 cards from your graveyard, fetch that card, then exile the others. That card gains half of its mana. So I want to feed my graveyard, which is not really common in red, which is interesting unless I'm using like some cards that I draw 1, ditch 2, or I ditch 1, draw 2. Or no, there's actually quite a bit of discard now that I think about it. Litho forming or some of the other. Anyways, yeah, I think this is going to be fun. I'm gonna say I dig it. I think this might be a chaseable card. My goodness, because of the exile thing. Play this with Karn, right? All colors. Let's just run, Gyruda and this together. My goodness, oh my goodness, this is going to be a lot of fun, man. That card's chasing. All right, that's rare. That's rare. Let's see. That is mythic. Okay, blot out the sky. Then our arrows will blot out the sun. Then we shall fight in the shade. 12 mana. It's got enhancements. Six of them you got to try to get. If you control 2 or less creatures, create X Inkling tokens. X is 3, plus the number of times this card was enhanced. So you can get up to 9, really, if you nuke the board somehow. If you can't, your creatures get +X/+X. So if you already have 2... if you have 3 creatures, essentially, then what you're doing is you're just giving those creatures +1 or or X plus X, which is X is 3 plus the number of times this card was enhanced. If this card was enhanced 3 or more times, destroy all non-land, non-token supports. This effect can affect Vanguard supports. So you take this card, you mute it, you silence it, you break all of the gems that needed for it that are over. You get it to at least 3. You nuke your board of Foretold. Does that bring all the creatures to the board? No idea. Something to speculate. Is it a chase card? Not yet. We'll see. It might be a good utility card, but I don't know if it's going to be broken. All right. This one right here is interesting. Body of Research, 18 mana, blue-green spell card. Create a fractal token. I'm assuming that's like a 1/1 fractal creature. Then increase its level by X. X is the total number of non-token, non-copy cards in your hand. Graveyard, exile, and in play under your control is what I think they mean there. So that means if I have a full hand, I've got 3 creatures on the board. Does that include their reinforcements? Non-token, non-copy cards in your hand. In my graveyard, so Gyruda again, baby. Exile, even in exile, and in play under your control. Oh my goodness. Doesn't talk about reinforcements for creatures, which I don't think really matters. You use this as kind of a late bomb. Create a fractal token, then increase its level by X. X is the total number of non-token. So I'm not sure how levels are going to work. I'm not still 100% on that. Is it exponential? Is it going to be multiplied? Is it just addition? What's the math we're using here? And if it's exponential, this is broken. I mean, clearly broken. If it's multiplied, I think it's broken. If it's addition, then it's going to be a later game type of card. But still, could be great. We'll see. Who knows? Bookworm is a common. There's some good commons in this too. Masterpiece, Breaches, Brazen Plunderer. 11 mana, a Pirate Goblin, baby. You know we love those. This is an invoked legendary menace, 5/5 red goblin pirate. Invoke Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator in the middle. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, move the top 2 cards of each player's library into your graveyard. Okay? Then pick one of the first 4 cards from your graveyard, fetch that card, then exile the others. That card gains half of its mana. So this is very specific, and I'm assuming because we're going to have a lot of cards, and I've looked at, that have mechanics that when things leave the graveyard, you get bonuses for. So this should work in tandem with builds like that. I don't know if it's going to be viable, and it's not a chase card this second until we see how synergistic it is. If not invoked, when this creature attacks, this creature gains double strike until the end of turn. So it can do it twice potentially when it's doing this, and that's one of the questions I asked. I'm going to say tentatively a chase card. It all depends on how powerful Invoke is and how good by itself, it's not a power card. It really will need 1 or 2 other cards to combo with it at least, and we'll see if that does anything that's worthwhile. We'll go from there. All right, bury in books. Is this exile when an opposing card creature? Nah, that's too much verbiage. Callous Blood Mage, Campus Guide. Let's see, let's keep it rocking, let's keep it going. All right, here's another Mythic, Cody. This one's by far, I think, one of my favorite cards in the Cody Vociferous Codex. 12 mana for a support, 5 mana with mana field. Support card, Artifact Construct, double duty. While on the board, you can't cast creature and support cards. Why would I want to play this? Aha! Mana field. The first multicolored spell card in your hand gains 15 mana. When I click just in the mana field, when you cast your first spell each turn, if that is a multicolored card, fetch the first spell card from your library with lesser mana cost. That card gains full mana. When do I get to cast that card? Right now. So when you cast your first spell each turn, just your first spell, so it just gets to go off twice, right? But if you play other cards that duplicate stuff, like the support that double the mana spells you're casting, or if you're playing in Legacy and you're playing Mirror, this has a lot of potential to be broken. I think this is a fantastic card. I can't wait to play with it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with like all spell deck creatures or planeswalkers like, what's her name? You know who I'm talking about. The older, the more wise red planeswalker. All right, Confront the Past. Let's read this one. Okay, so this has all kinds of stuff. 11 mana spell card, Lesson. Each player loses X life. Then if this card was enhanced an even number of times, return the first Vanguard support from your graveyard to your board under your control. Boo. If this card was enhanced an odd number of times, your opponent loses X loyalty. X is 6 plus the number of times this card was lame. Not a chase card. Don't get that card. Let's see. Do I have a like on that one? Nope. I'm trying to find all the ones that I just liked for us, all right? Trying to buzz through it. These cards, even with like the learn objectives, they may be a little bit more effective. Creative Outburst. Deal X damage to your opposing target. Then draw a card. It gains X mana. X is 5 plus the number of times this card was enhanced. So you can have 6 enhancements on this, right? You can mute it. 15 mana, though. So I think this is one of those cards where it could work with like a Mox Ruby. Get it full powered, and maybe if you can do the things that you're trying to do, that would work. When you cycle this card, create a gold token. I don't know. We'll see. That's an uncommon card. Calling Ritual. This is a mythic. Okay. 12 mana. Spell card. Black-green. Destroy each creature and each non-land support with base mana cost 9 or less. Lame. Convert 2 gems to black or green for each card destroyed this way, including the reinforcements. This effect can affect vanguards. So destroy each creature and each non-land support with base mana cost 9 or less. So why this is important is this is green mass removal. But again, it's 9 or less. So tokens, I mean, you can get tokens. This is kind of a sideboard card. Is it chase worthy? I don't know what we played that's 9 or less. That's like mainstay, like everything I'm seeing that's OP, at least in our current meta, is like 9, 10, or like 10 or 11 or more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a chase card, but we'll see. Culmination of Studies. Did I put a like by that? Nope. Creature Demon. That's a rare. Hard for me to see these and where I am. Looking for likes. And right around here is where I started to actually really... Okay, this is another mythic. Yeah. So Devastating Mastery. 12 mana. Enhancements. If this card was enhanced 2 or less times during the first Return the first opposing creature and or opposing non-land support to their owner's hand. Those cards gain half of their mana. Destroy all creatures and all non-land supports. This effect can affect your Vanguard. So it's a white removal that if you take the time to enhance it at least 3 times, so it's got to be at least 3 times, then it's just destroy all creatures and all non-land supports. This effect can affect Vanguards. Okay, it's a nice little removal. Is it chase-worthy? I don't think it's better than what we have right now. It's cheaper, but with the delay and enhancement, I'm not sure if it's worth it. Or maybe it's good in a pinch. We'll see. That's a play tester. We have to test it and see if we like it. Let's see. That's an uncommon. Did I like that one? I did like this one. All right, so divide by 0. So 9 mana flash spell card. If your opponent has 5 or less cards in their hand, return an opposing non-token support with base cost 6 or more to your opponent's hand. If they can't, return the first non-token creature with base cost 7 or more to our opponent's hand, then learn. So I really like this card because it's got flash, it's uncommon. I can use this on their turn, so when they cast a card, and they're attacking, I can send it back to them. It's non-targeted removal. It does go after supports first, so non-land, non-token support with base cost 6 or more, so a big one. But most supports cost 6 or more, so it's not that big a deal. So if they have any kind of support that's non-land on the board, this can return it to their hand. That's the only downside of this card, but I like it. I think it's pretty good. And it's got the learn ability, so you could start to do some other stuff with it too. Double major. Okay, so I really like this one. This is really powerful. For 5 freaking mana, flash, green, blue, reinforce target creature you control. Really, really powerful. Really powerful. Yeah, and then you start running this, and I dig it because it's super low cost for 5 mana. You can get your creatures really big as you're going along. So I dig that one. Draconic Intervention. I got a wow face on this one too. This is a mythic anyway. So 12 mana. It's got the enhance. Exile the first spell card from your graveyard. Then deal X damage to each non-dragon creature. X is the base mana cost of the exiled card. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile instead. Exile this card. If this card was enhanced 2 or more times, deal X damage to your opponent's planeswalker, destroy X non-red gems. This is ridiculous. In a Mox Ruby deck, this card is going to be bonkers because you only need to have enhanced 2 or more times. It's not 3, it's 2. So if you enhance it twice, if you click 2 of those gems, and never mind like lithoforming and all that stuff, you shatter those gems, like you break everything, this is going to be super destructive, plus the fact you get to deal that damage to your opponent, and in addition to that, you get to break that many non-red gems. Koth is going to love this card. Koth is going to go nuts with this. But I think this is phenomenal. That's a great card. Okay, another mythic, Dragon's Guard Elite, 14 mana. It's got Magecraft 3. This creature gets +2/+2. Okay, 5/5. When you activate a loyalty ability, this creature gets +X/+X. X is equal to this creature's power buff value. So maybe if it's +6, it gets another +6. Not sure what that means. We'll have to see and play it out. Not sure if that's a chase card yet. Dramatic Finale. I did like this one. So 10 mana. It's a rare. 4 shield enchantment support card, black and white. While on the board, your creature tokens get +1/+1 for each of the reinforcements. Holy goodness! So that makes all of your 1/1s 2/2s, right? Wow, you just doubled their power. Okay, when a non-token creature you control dies, create 2 Inkling tokens. This effect can trigger up to 3 times. When a non-token creature you control dies, well, you only have 3 creatures, so what would that matter? So, okay, I think that while on the board, your creature gets +1/+1 for each of the reinforcements. That can scale out pretty big. As I'm rereading it right now, though, for some reason I had in my head that it was base mana, like it just reinforced it that many times for each time it was reinforced. So that would be much bigger. But this is still pretty powerful, and it's rare, so I think that's pretty good. Dream Strix. Nope. 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 This one, yes. Ifrit Flame Painter. Oh my gosh. 14 mana. Berserk, Double Strike, which already makes it ridiculous. Leader, 4/7, Ifrit Shaman. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalkers, pick one of the first 3 spell cards from your graveyard, create a copy of that spell in your hand. It gains full mana, then exile that spell. Gyruda is going to be working out, my friends. Put all that stuff in the graveyard. Put it in the yard. We're just going to go get it back with some of this other stuff. Ifrit Flame Painter, immediately I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have to wait. I'm going to cast that spell right away. It's going to be phenomenal. If they are Well, I don't even know if you can mute them in your hand so that you can cast them as flash. Flash needs some fixing, bros. But even then, this is still wildly powerful. This is absolutely a chase card. Put nothing but big cards in your library, in your graveyard, and you're going to wind up casting free stuff at least one a turn. Very, very powerful stuff. It's a good balance. I think it's a good balance. Mid-level to even some low, high-tier collections are going to do phenomenally well with that. Let's see. Next. Come on, man. Who we got? Okay, I like this one. Oh, I really like this card. Eureka Moment. It's a common card, 8 mana with flash, spell card, blue-green. Draw 2 cards, convert 4 gems to your Planeswalker's colors. So in a mono blue, now listen, mono blue or mono green, this is phenomenal. Especially with like a Teferi, Master of Time. Master of Time. He's blue. So I'm going to use this card, draw 2 cards, and I'm going to get 4 gems to convert to my Planeswalker's color. And I'm going to ideally do it on my turn, because if I pop them on their turn, they get the gems. But I think this is a really powerful card. I think it's great for a common card. It's fantastic. All right, moving on. Let's see what else we got here. So I love this one, Explosive Welcome. 14 mana, it's a flash red spell card. Deal 6 damage to any opposing target, deal 4 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker, then destroy 6 non-red gems. Now, listen, this is an uncommon, and it's 14 mana. I still liked it because I think that you could power it up with Mox Ruby, or the other one, Crag, feature Crag Feet, whatever it is, Iron Crag Feet, and cast it, right, and get it to go, and hold off onto it until their turn. I think this is a really powerful card. It needs some finagling, but for what it is, for a middle of the level, collection, it's going to be pretty good. This is a Mythic, Extos Urik Overlord, 12 mana, double strike, Magecraft, legendary, 5/7 black-white, white-black, human warlock, invoke, awaken the blood avatar, so we saw that card. Magecraft 2, return the first non-legendary creature from your graveyard to your hand. That creature gains double strike. Don't cast it. If not invoked, this creature gains menace and gains half of its mana. So if you don't invoke this and you just draw it, it just automatically gains half its mana for 6 mana. That's pretty darn powerful, man. I got to give that a like now that I understand how some of this stuff works. All right, Fervent Mastery, 13 mana. I like these fervent ones. Fervent Champion, Fervent Mastery. So, spell card. If this card was enhanced 2 or less times, your opponent discards the last 2 cards without mana from their hand, then they draw up to 4 cards, and those cards gain 6 mana. So you want to enhance your stuff by at least twice, right? Or 3 times, really. So now, what this card does is discard the first card with mana from your hand, then fetch the first 3 different cards from your library that are not named Fervent Mastery. Those cards gain X mana. X is the amount of mana on the card discarded this way. Exile this card. Mox Ruby, full mana, ditch it, go get 3 more cards, and go get them full mana. And guess when I can cast them? Right now. I can cast them right now. So this might as well read, if Goz is playing, is full mana. So go get 3 cards. Trade 1 out with full mana, get 3 more with full mana, not this card. Okay? I'll take that. That sounds amazing. Field Trip. Okay, 5 mana, convert 6 gems to green, and then learn. 5 mana to go get 6 gems to convert. This is a no-brainer auto-include. This might be one of the most powerful green conversion cards we've had in a long time. I love Reclaim the Wastes, but it's 8 mana, and when you're in a pinch, especially with Tamio, who's kind of caps out at 5, 5, and 6 for her total mana for matching 3 white or green gems, this is powerful. This is going to be a huge lift to green conversion, which didn't need it. This just makes it absolutely just bonkers. I would love to see a card like this that just says to your Planeswalker's color, or black, or 1 for each of them, black, red, blue, all of those. I think that would be great. They'd be auto-includes. This is a green auto-include for sure. Very, very powerful. All right, let's see. Let's keep it going, keep it rocking, keep it rolling. Some of these I want to reread again. So Flamethrower Sonata, 8 mana, spell card, invoke Torrent Sculptor, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. If the last card in your graveyard is a spell card, deal X damage to target opposing creature. X is the mana cost of the last card in your graveyard. If not invoked, an opposing Vanguard support loses X shield. Yeah, no, not a chase card. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's keep going. I got to trust my first instincts. That one was too wordy and too insanity. All right, right here. So Grinning Ignis. I like this card. 8 mana, haste, 3/3, creature elemental. At the end of your turn, you may return this creature to your hand if you do destroy 9 non-red gems. Bro, Koth is strong already. Like, Koth was... I don't like Koth. Karn is way more powerful, in my opinion, for a mono red walker. I said it. Fight me. At the end of your turn, you may return this creature to your hand. If you do, destroy 9 non-red gems, so you get that mana back, and it might charge him up enough to keep going. I love this card. I think this card is amazing. This is a red equivalent, and I wrote in the comments, this is a red equivalent to Startled Awake for blue. I think this might... It's up there. This is really cool. It's a really great card. And it's freaking uncommon. You're going to get it. You're going to pull it in your first day, bro. All right, so let's go Harness Infinity. 16 mana, a flash black-green spell card. Each of the first 6 different cards without buried in your graveyard gain buried. X. X is that card's base mana cost. Then discard your hand. For each card discarded this way, each card with buried in your graveyard gains 3 mana. Exile this card. So you have cards in your graveyard. You have 6 cards in your hand, right? So you gain 18 mana. You just want to make sure they have 18 or less casting cost. So each of the first 6 different cards without buried in your graveyard gain buried. XX is that card's base mana cost. Buried X. X is that, yada, yada, yada. Then discard your hand. For each card discarded this way, each card with buried in your graveyard gains X mana. Then exile this card. Is this card... Okay, Gyruda has one of these in the graveyard. It's one of the 6. It will trigger. It's 16. It'll work. So you have a full hand. You fire this puppy off. Actually, you would only have 5, wouldn't you? Oh, I see. Not good. That's not it. We'll see. We're going to have to fiddle with this. I think this is powerful. I think it's a monster card. All right, Hopefrey Ghost Forge. No. This card is really weird. It's a mythic. We'll read it. It's a mythic. Hopefrey Ghost Forge, 15 mana, legendary 6/7, red-white, creature, dwarf, cleric. While on the battlefield, your spirit creatures get +1/+1 and gain haste and trample, right? This card doesn't make any sense. When another non-token, non-spirit creature card you control dies, exile it. Then create a copy of that creature onto the battlefield under your control. That creature gains the spirit subtype. So, I can't play this card. There's nothing I can do with this card. Because I make those things spirits, but I have to have the card that's not a spirit on the board. Doesn't reinforce those because they're 2 separate cards, right? I would think. And then you have to destroy the other one and exile. Oh my gosh, it's so confusing. It hurts my brain. Watch this be like the card of the set. And I'm like, wow, guys, you're an idiot. Everybody should have got that card. But I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't understand it. All right, moving on. Let's see. That's a rare. That's a rare. That's a mythic. Is that a mythic? No, that's a rare. Okay. So Ingenious Mastery, 6 mana with 6 enhancements. If this card was enhanced 2 or less times, create 2 gold tokens under your opponent's control, and then your opponent draws up to 2 cards. Not that bad a cost. Like, okay, no, not that big a deal. What you get is you drop to 4 cards. Those cards gain 2 mana for each of this card's enhancements. So you want to actually stack the enhancements up, get up to grab all 6, and then draw them. So it would be 6 times 2 would be 12. So you draw 4 cards, and they would get 12 mana. Okay. It's a little bit of a, almost like a revisiting of Blue Sun Zenith, but a little more balanced. So I kind of dig that. I dig it. All right, moving on. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, this guy. Jadzi, Oracle of Avaricious. Arcavius, 21 mana. I don't know what that logo is. They got Magecraft, Invoked, Ward. Drain 8 mana from your hand. Okay, all right, let's read through it. So it's an 8/8 for blue creature, human, wizard. Invoke, Journey to the Oracle. Ward, drain 8 mana from your hand. Your opponent has to drain 8 mana from their hand, I think. Magecraft, draw a card, then you may drain 5 mana from your hand. If you do, that card gains full mana. Yeah, baby, yeah. If not invoked, when an effect you control drains mana from your opponent's hand, gains 7 mana. So if they say, hey, cool, I'm gonna do this, great, we gain 7 mana. They drain 8 mana, we gain 7. So maybe I don't get the Magecraft function, but I do get that. I don't know, but this seems kind of fun. I'd like to toil with that a bit. All right, Journey to the Oracle. This one's I like. 13 mana, spell card, Jadzi, Oracle of our. We saw him earlier. Move all land supports from your hand into play. Then if you control a land support with 10 or more shield, return this card to your hand. Move all land supports from your hand into play, and if you control a land support with 10 or more shield, return this card to your hand. Brutal. So I get to put everything on the board. Let's say I only have 1 land card, and I have a handful of land, a land hand, and I put it all on the board. It gives me 10 shield, right? a couple of them are going to have that at least. Then this card returns your hand. What's really good is if you're playing Avatar of Growth, because he constantly puts that out there, and then you get like really big lands, especially if you have like 1 or 2 lands in there. Pretty powerful. If not invoked, gain X loyalty. X is equal to your highest mana bonus. Maybe we play that with Tamiyo. Kamal, Heart of Krosa, 22 mana for a masterpiece, legendary 7/7 human druid. Invoke. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, your creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until the end of turn. When a support you control loses shield for the first time each turn, your first other creature gets +X/+X and gains bravery, haste, and vigilance until end of turn. X is equal to that support's shield. If not invoked, when this creature attacks, reinforce your first other creature. It's kind of cool. I don't know if it's chase worthy. I don't know. We have to see about its synergy with other stuff. I don't think it's a card that flips decks all by itself. Maybe when you build around it, it's worthwhile. Not sure. I just want to make fun of this. Kiana, Dean of Substance. And I said, say abuse afterwards. So Kiana, Dean of Substance Abuse. Okay, that's enough of that. Moving on. Killian. All right, I liked Killian. Oh yeah, 7 mana for a unblockable menace, lifelinking 3/3 white, black, creature, human, warlock. When you cast a spell that targets a creature, gain 3 mana. Voltron, with all my stuff that does +3, that gives them a bonuses, but they only cost 3 mana. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I think that'll be fun to try to break. I don't know if there's anything out there like that. Crark the Thumbless, 13 mana, legendary 4/4 creature, goblin, wizard. Invoke. When you cast your first non-copy spell each turn, copy that card. Okay, when you cast your first non-copy spell each turn, copy that card. If there are 9 or more red gems, deal damage to your opponent's planeswalker equal to that copy's base cost. If there are 9 or more blue gems, that copy gains full mana. What? Now, if you didn't invoke this card, when you cast a spell card that is a copy, your creatures get +3/+3 until end of turn. So I get bonuses no matter how I'm playing it, as long as I get Thumbless Boy here, Crark, onto the field and playing him. This is stupid powerful. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I gotta throw some heart on that. Look at that. I really heart you. Let's see. Next. Alright, this is another masterpiece. 17 mana for Liza, Shroud of Dusk. Creature Angel, 5/5. Lifelink, flying, legendary, buried, or whatever that is. When your opponent casts a non-land card, your opponent loses 4 life, then this creature gets +2/+2. Okay, when your opponent casts a non-land card, your opponent loses 4 life. Man, they cast anything but lands, they're taking damage, and this gets bigger and bigger. At the beginning of your turn, if this card is in your graveyard, it gains 5 mana, and you lose 5 life for each card named Liza, Shroud of the Dusk in your graveyard. Brutal. So you want to get those exiled, but I like it. I think that's fun. That should ramp really, really quickly. All right? Dude, there's so many chase cards. I don't know if that one's a chase card. I think that's more novel than anything else. Let's see. Keeping it moving. All right, Maelstrom Muse. 10 mana, flying, 3/5, Djinn Wizard, blue-red. When this creature attacks, the first spell in your hand gains X mana. X is this creature's power. Dude, this is a sick card. For mid-level, low, popper builds, this is going to be a brutal card, man. You want this. You want to Voltron it up. Make it as big as possible. Here's another one. This is a common. Mage Duel, 10 mana, spell card. When you cast a spell, this card cost is reduced by 2. Target creature you control gets +2/+4 until end of turn. Then that creature fights the first opposing creature. I like this. That's good. Nice for removal. Mage Hunter, not interested. Nope. Masterpiece, Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, 10. Bravery, legendary, flying, 4/4, Siren Knight. It's another Siren. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalkers, create a gold token. Any creature. If that creature is a pirate, create 2 gold tokens. You know who that works with. If not invoked, when this creature attacks, your creatures get +X/+X until end of turn. X is the number of artifact supports you control. Okay, little synergy, fun, but I don't think it's chase worthy. We'll see. No, I did like this one. So Mascot Exhibition. This is kind of fun. So 17 mana, spell card less, and it's colorless, mind you. First creature that is red and white gains leader, Spirit. Your first creature that is white and black gains leader, Inkling. And your first creature that is blue and red gains leader, Elemental. Create an Archaeological Spirit token, an Inkling token, and an Art Elemental token. Brutal. This is powerful. What happens if you have a creature that has all 5? Do they get all 3 leaders, or are they only limited to 1 leader? Imagine you have Chromanticore. First creature. It doesn't say non-token creature. Your first creature that is red and white gains leader. That's it. No non-token business. So I could take a Chromanticore token, which is all 5 colors, bam, bam, and it should be able to be a leader for all of this stuff, and it just gets bigger and bigger when we do it. Ooh, I hope that's the way it works, because I want to play that. All right, what's next? Okay, so Mavinda, Students Advocate. 12 mana, legendary, flying, 5/6, Bird Advisor. At the beginning of your turn, you may pick one of the first 4 spells from your graveyard. That card gains Flashback and Buried, X. X is that card's base mana cost. If that is an aura card, it gains full mana. Otherwise, X becomes its base cost times 2. This is a typo. At the beginning of your turn, so it says right here, that card gains Flashback and Buried, X. X is that card's base mana cost, right? But then it says here, if it's not an aura card, it gains full mana. Otherwise, X becomes its base cost times 2. So it's confusing. Unless I'm just not understanding what that means, we'll see. We'll get some clarity later on. Mazrique, Crowell, Death Priest, 16 mana, legendary, flying, 6/6, creature, insect, shaman. When another creature or support card is destroyed, creatures you control get +X/+X. X is 1 plus the number of reinforcements of the destroyed card. Morbid, at the end of the opponent's turn, that your opponent loses life equal to this creature's power. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't go the what it's saying up here. I would just Voltron this puppy up. It's going to be a lot of Voltron. If you don't know what Voltron is, it's an old school term that says we're just powering it up, adding a bunch of stuff on top of it to make it more powerful. Pluses and bonuses, Gigantiforms, and all the other stuff that we want to do to it. This would probably work in something like that, but we'll see. Or like making it a leader and then tokening it up. It'll be big. Melik Izzet Paragon. This one, it might be my favorite creature in the set. 16 mana for this masterpiece. 6/8. Creature, weird wizard. He's weird. Wizardry, draw a card. If that card is a spell card, copy it. That copy gains full mana. Done. Sold. Done. 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 He's my favorite. Otherwise, exile that card. This effect can trigger up to 3 times per turn. Per turn! I don't have to wait to do this later. I cast a spell, I get a free spell, I draw a card. If a card is a spell, copy it. That copy gains full mana. Cast that card, and I get to go again. And Wizardry is, right, I don't think Wizardry is impacted by... I think it's just you cast any spell. Brutal, dude. This is brutal. This is so stupid. This is going to be ridiculous. Oh my god, I can't wait to pull that. I did like this one. Mentor's Guidance, 8 mana, spell card, draw 2 cards. Those cards gain 4 mana. That's powerful. When you cast this card, if you control a Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, Wizard, or Vanguard, and if this spell is not a copy, copy this card, that copy gains 4 mana. This is a stupid powerful card for mid-level cards. I don't even know if it's that. I think it's good, right? Oh my gosh, it's so powerful. These all kind of get confusing. This one's a little rough. Milo, Crafty Companion, 12 mana, legendary, 4 shield. It's a support card, Fox. When the first opposing creature attacks, the creature gains -2/-0 and gains Berserk until end of turn. When a non-token creature you control becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, draw a card, it gains half of its mana. If not invoked, when an opposing creature deals damage to a creature you control, disable that opposing creature for 2 turns. Okay, a little bit of kind of protection. I don't know. We'll see. I have to see how that works. I like this one too. Mortality Spear, 12 mana, flash, black-green, spell card. When you gain life, if this card is in your hand, it gains 2 mana. Okay. Destroy the first opposing non-token creature. If you can't, destroy an opposing non-token non-land support. Removal. You know, flash removal for green, solid card. Play it in your green decks. Multiple choice. I like this one. It's a mythic too, though. 8 mana, it's got the enhanced business. Draw a card, perform one of the 4 of the following effects according to this card's enhancements. So if you enhance it one time, the last card in your hand gains 4 mana. Well, that's lame. If your opponent has 5 or less cards in their hand, return the target opposing creature to their hand if you enhance it twice. 3, create an art elemental token. 4 or more, perform each of the effects above. Okay? So this card's good because if I enhance it 4 times with the 6 that I get, then what ultimately happens is I get to do all 4 of those abilities. I think this is the only card that does that. The rest of them, you only get 1. This is the only one that if you get 4 or more, you get to do all of the other 3, basically, and that's what it is. So that makes it somewhat, I don't know if it's chaseable, but it'd be fun to play with, all right? That's rare, didn't like it. Looking just for the likes. That's a rare. And I think we're running at the corner. When this support enters the board, learn while on the board in first grade. Okay. Actually, this is significant. Let's go back to it. I like that. I didn't see the lifelink. So it's 10 mana, Poet's Quill. It's an equipment. I have more and more really like equipment. I don't ever pay for mana to hit equipment cards. I just let my creatures attack until it gets powerful enough to hit the board. This one's really powerful because it gives it lifelink. So when this support enters the board, learn, and we'll see how well that works. But while on the board, your first creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. This is going to be a replacement for Shadow Spear when that goes away, and it's an uncommon. I'm seeing a lot of that in this set, where there's cards that are really good, equivalent to Mythics and Masterpieces in previous sets, and they're just common and uncommon cards. Really good. Draw a card, learn. Okay, so let's see. Anything else here? I know I'm buzzing through the rest of these here. You got to go through the set. It's on MTG, PQ's Facebook page. They've got them all up there, and that's what I'm going through here. I think this is a rare. I can't see. I'm kind of colorblind, guys. That's why I sometimes... all right, yeah. So 12 mana. I kind of like this one. Creature, Dwarf, Cleric, 4/6. When a spell you control deals damage to an opposing target, you gain that much life. At the beginning of your turn, the first card without buried in your graveyard gains flashback and buried X. Then create up to 5 graveyard gems. X is this card's base mana cost. I like this card. I think this would be a good card for you to use, especially in red. If you're running an all burn deck, you're gaining life based on this creature being on the board. That's pretty powerful. I actually really dig that. I don't know why I didn't like it the first time. Because I'm going to spell on this creature you may green. Okay, this is another one I like too. I don't know why I didn't like this one. 9 mana, Reflective Goblin, 3/4, colorless, Artifact Golem. When you cast a non-copy spell, if the only target of that spell is this creature, you may drain 8 mana from your hand. If you do, create a copy of that spell in your hand. It gains full mana. So I get to cast basically a card twice that enhances this card if I'm dealing damage to it. Or let's say I'm dealing 2 points of damage, or I'm dealing some type of damage to this card, or disabling it or something. I can immediately do it again. I can cast it on the other card, on another creature, an opposing creature. I think that'll be fun. Okay. Where are we? I know I had more that I really liked. I love the art on this, man. Love the art on this. Okay, this one. Ruta Mercurial Artist, 9 mana, legendary, Magecraft 2/9, Orc Shaman, Magecraft 2. You may return this creature to your hand. If you do, create a copy of that spell card in your hand. That copy gains full mana. So I'm assuming when you cast a spell, you can do this twice, or maybe you have to cast 2 spells. Maybe the second spell works. I'm not sure how Magecraft works 100% yet. You may return this creature to your hand. If you do, create a copy of that spell that triggered the Magecraft in your hand. That copy gains full mana. I'm casting the spell, so I get to cast that spell twice. So if my second card is like a full-powered Chromatic Core or something stupid, I get to cast that twice because of this creature. This creature is very powerful. I dig that a lot. Rushed Rebirth, 6, flashcard, spellcard, green, black. Till end of turn, target creature gains enchanted. When this creature dies, fetch the first creature card with lesser base mana cost from your library. Move that card to play under your control. Until end of turn, target creature gains enchanted. When this creature dies, fetch the first creature card with lesser base mana cost from your library. I can put this on their card and kill it. So if I use this in tandem with another kill card, or one of my other abilities, or some other way of destroying their creature, or I do it on their turn and they're fighting against one of my creatures and they're going to die, I get to go bring creatures out. I like this card. That's going to be fun, man. Here's another one. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. This is a cool picture. 15 mana, legendary, I don't know what that means. 4 shield, support card, human rogue. When you cast this card, create on the battlefield under your control a copy of target creature. So I just immediately get a copy of that creature. When the support loses a shield for the first time each turn, reinforce your first legendary creature. If not invoked, when you cast another legendary creature or support, reinforce it. This effect can trigger up to 2 times per turn. This is a stupid powerful card. I dig it. I really dig it. Finally, cards that are worth masterpiece level, right? Why do I want to? As long as you control support with 8 or more shields, this creature gets +2/+2. Not cool. Moving on. I like this card. Secret Rendezvous, 7 mana, spell card. Each player draws 3 cards. Cards you've drawn this way gain 4 mana. I really like that. That's just a neat way, especially if you're drawing like Seize the Day or that kind of thing. This would be a real brutal card to play with. Okay, let's see. So this has Ward, pay 6 life, Magecraft 2, create 3 past tokens. All right. Nope. Nope. All right, Singir, Dark Baron, 21 mana, legendary flying 8/8, Vampire Noble. When a card comes into play with a creature type that's destroyed, loses a reinforcement, this creature gets +3/+3. Again, makes no nonsense. I think when something dies, when it comes into play, or something loses a reinforcement, it gets +3/+3. When an opposing creature dies, you gain X life. X is that creature's base toughness. That's cool. If not invoked at the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may have this creature gain Berserk until end of turn. Okay. I don't know if it's a chase card yet, but it looks like it might be fun now that I understand how some of that stuff works. All right, Chadrix Silverquilt, 16 mana, double strike, 5/8 black. There's not a lot of double, I'm gonna like it just for that. There's not a lot of double strike creatures in black or white, or black, I should say. So that's kind of cool. At the beginning of your turn, equip to 2 enhanced gems. When this creature attacks, perform one or more of the following effects according to the number of enhanced gems. Create an Inkling token. Your creatures get +1/+1. Draw a card. It gains half of its mana. I'm starting to think, based on the way I'm reading these, is because this creates up to, at the beginning of your turn, create 2 enhanced tokens. It doesn't get anything. I think if you have enhanced tokens on the board, like you can do snow gems, like you have a bunch of them, I think you can do the same thing with enhanced gems. If that's the case, oh my God, that's going to be broken. I think that's how that's going to work, guys. Ooh, baby, I'm going to party with some enhancements. Let's see, anything else? Maybe I need to reread this one. No, that's not cool. I remember reading it. It's done. This card is brutal. No, go back to there. All right. So when your opponent casts a spell card, your opponent loses 4 life, then you draw a card. So 10 mana. Every turn, 5/4. This is a brutal card. It's a rare. Anytime, any combo decks that they're going off on, like your green, whatever, green combo in standard, this is a shutdown hate card. I love it. Silverquilt Silencer. Here's another masterpiece. Slurk All Ingesting, 16 mana. Support card, Ooze Past. When the support loses shield, increase its level by 2. Then your opponent loses X life. X is equal to the support levels. Okay, so anytime you lose a shield, it goes up by 2, and that's how much life they lose every time you match it. When a card comes into play with a creature type, or a creature type loses reinforcement, and buff creature gets +X/+X, then you gain X life. If not invoked, when the support is destroyed, each opposing creature gets -X/-X. Okay, I'm starting to understand a little bit better. It's not really chase-worthy, but it's kind of fun. Snow Day, 6 mana. Disable up to the first X opposing creatures until the beginning of your next turn. X is 1 plus the number of times enhanced. No snow. Come on, man. Don't tease me like that. I want some more snow stuff. Not liked, not liked. I think we're reaching the end here. And I'm sure I'm missing some. I'm blowing past. I like this one. Score up 8 mana, flash spell card, green, blue. Target creature's base power and toughness becomes 4/4 until end of turn. This is just like the other one that gave them Elks and made them 3/3s. This is going to be bonkers if they don't nerf it. I like it. I think this is going to be really powerful. Tokens are going to be stupid strong. All right. Not that one, not that one. Are we at the end? No. We still have plenty to go. Oh my gosh, we're only in the S's. Sorry, guys. Come on, here we go. Strixhaven Stadium, 10 mana. It's an artifact. When the support gems is matched, it gains 1 shield. When an opposing creature deals combat damage to your planeswalker, the support loses 1 shield. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, the support gains 1 shield. So it's kind of like a game. Your guys hit me, I lose a point. I hit you, I gain a point. At the beginning of your turn, if this support has 12 or more shields on it, you gain 30 loyalty. I like that. I really like that. Will it be any good? I have no idea. Maybe you have to get multiple castings on this just to get the shield count up. Maybe you get 2 or 3 on the board with 10. If it were a land, we could cheat it out a lot faster, but it's an artifact. Maybe something with the fairy gal, I forget what she is. She brings artifacts back from the graveyard. Maybe something like that. I think there's something here to use your ultimate loyalty abilities. So there's something there I'm going to try to break for sure. All right. Creature Elder Dragon, Tanzir, Quandrix, 21 mana. Trample. Oh my gosh, I forgot what Trample looks like. Legendary Flying Leader, 7/7, Creature Elder Dragon. When this creature enters the battlefield, double all buff values and target creature you control. When this creature attacks, you may have the base power and toughness of other creatures you control become equal to this creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Not chase-worthy. I liked this one. Teach it by example. 6 mana spell card, red-blue. Copy the first other spell card in your hand. That copy gains half of its mana. That's strong, man. That is really, really strong. Tempted by Auric, 12 mana. Gain control of each opposing creature or vanguard supports with base cost 10 or less, and reinforce those cards. I think this is a dumb card because there's not a lot of stuff that's 10 or less. But what's interesting and why I liked it, you gain control of each opposing creature and vanguard support with base cost 10 or less. So that means it's not copied and they get to keep it. You're taking it from them. So Mox Rubies and that kind of stuff, this could be a way to go fetch those and take them from them. Very interesting. We'll have to see how it plays out. Test of Talents, 10 mana, support card enchantment. When this support enters the board, drain all mana from the first spell card in your opponent's hand. While on the board, spell cards in your opponent's hand can't gain mana. Hate. Straight hate. I tried building a hate deck before, and they did not work real well. I think we finally have some good cards we can build a hate deck. What's a hate deck? keeps you from doing your things, and it punishes you for doing the things that your deck does real well. So 8 mana support card land at the beginning of your turn, convert 3 gems to loyalty gems. When you activate a loyalty ability, draw a card. If that card is a spell, it gains half of its mana, otherwise discard that card. I really like that. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Thunderous Orator. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to the end of this. 8 mana, 3/3, creature core wizard. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, if you control any creature with flying, this creature gains flying until the beginning of your next turn. Repeat this effect for each other basic evergreen. Not really an impressive card until you get to that last sentence. Repeat this effect for each other basic evergreen. I'm curious to see how that works, and in lower collections, this might be a really cool, overpowered card. Tormad the Desecrator, 19 mana, legendary 7/5 zombie wizard. When a card leaves a graveyard, create a zombie token. If that is a creature card, create 2 zombie tokens instead. If not invoked, when another non-token creature dies, create X zombie tokens. X is the number of that creature's reinforcements. Each of these effects can trigger up to 3 times per turn. So if you do something where you're creating leaders and you wipe the board, this can create some massive stuff. We'll see. It's kind of fun, but I don't know if it's going to be overly powered. Torrent Sculptor. 16 mana, 2/2, creature, wizard, merfolk, ward, drain 5 mana from your hand. So you get to drain 5 mana from your hand. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick one of the first 3 spell cards from your graveyard. Exile that card, then this creature gets +X/+X. X is equal to the half of that card's base mana cost rounded up. If not invoked, X is this card's base mana cost instead. So if I don't invoke this, if I just draw this and cast it for 16 mana, or I cheat it out somehow, I wonder if that counts that way. That would be interesting to see. But then if I drain a card from the, if I exile a card, this creature gets, exile that card. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick one of the first 3 spell cards from your graveyard, exile that card, then this creature gets X, is that card's base, +X/+X. X is that card's base mana cost instead. That's not till end of turn, people. This is a stupid card, oh my god! Now that I understand how Invoked works, this is going to be ridiculous. Torrent Sculptor, baby. All right, moving on. Uvilda, Dean of Perfection, 12 mana, creature, djinn, wizard. When you exile a spell card from your hand, if you don't control a card name, Hone of Perfection, create a Hone of Perfection token. We don't know what that does. If not invoked, at the beginning of your turn, each token support you control loses 1 shield. So this could be good with, with Foretell. And this will strictly be based on Hone of Perfection. If that's a good thing, then we'll do that. Let's see. All right, so Velomachus, Lorehold, 18 mana, flying, defender, oh my gosh, vigilance rather. Flying, haste, 8/8, Elder Dragon, red/white. When this creature attacks, pick one of the first 4 different spell cards from your library, fetch that card, against X mana. X is equal to this creature's power. Voltron, give me a card for free. Voltron, give me a card for free. Powerful, love it. Venerable War Singer, 10 mana, I just said it, not defender, vigilance. Trample, 4/4, red/white, spirit cleric. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, return the first creature card with base mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. X is 2 times the damage dealt to your opponent. Do you realize how stupid that is? Voltron this baby, go do 30 points of damage, put any creature on the board from your graveyard with a base mana cost of X. Stupid. This is going to be really powerful in lower decks. I think even in some higher level decks. Fervent Mastery, 11 mana, 6 shield spell card, or its enhancements. Fetch the first 3 different land supports from your library. Then convert X gems to green. X is equal to the highest base mana cost of land card in your hand. If this card was enhanced 2 or less times, copy up to 2 of those cards to your opponent's hand. Those copies gain full mana. Yeah, this is a stupid powerful card. I love this. Now that I understand how Enhance works, this is a really powerful green conversion card. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. Okay, moving on. Wandering Archaic, 18 mana, 7/7, creature avatar. Ward, drain 5 mana from your first non-spell card in your hand. So our opponent has to, I believe this is how it works, if they want to stop it from doing anything, they have to drain 5 mana from their hand to keep it from going off. When this creature enters the battlefield, learn. When your opponent casts a spell, if this creature has hexproof, you copy that spell against full mana. What? What? My goodness, that's ridiculously overpowered. Just put a little love on it, baby. In fact, let's look at the comments, because I say in the comments what it is. I'm thinking this with Valkmira should get you the first spell for free. We'll have to test. So this right here is just a ridiculous card. I adore it. Is that it? Is that how we finish? Is that how we wrap things up? It is. That's the one that we're going to finish on, Wandering Archaic. My friends, This was a long one today, I know. You have been here for over an hour, and I appreciate you. This is not a normal video, but this is not a normal situation. These cards are ridiculous. Just the first 5 to 10 cards themselves are way more powerful than anything that we had in Kaldheim, outside of Prismatic Bridge. Prismatic Bridge was ridiculous. Still one of the most powerful cards in Standard right now, and probably will be for quite some time. But what do you think of this new set? What card are you most excited about breaking? I would love to know. And as always, my friends, you could be anywhere in the world. I would really appreciate if you join my adventure, you join our party. Click the link below, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like and comment. It really helps the channel out. I don't get paid for these. I haven't put out videos in quite some time. I'm coming back with a lot more content as we go along, but it all starts with your support, and I appreciate you for spending the time with me here. If you're here at this point, if you watch this entire video and listen to me go off geeky nerd-wise, like on all of this stuff, you, my friend, are a member of my party. I'd love to know and see you so I can recognize you. Let me know your gamer name in the comments below, and as always, until our next adventure, my friends, swords up. I am so excited for this. You have no idea. I will see you on the next one.